The mid-20th century brought us a time period where architecture changed dramatically around the world. Many architects embraced modernism, which rejected traditional ornate designs in favor of simplicity and abstraction. This style often emphasizes functionality over aesthetics, leading to minimalist or unconventional designs. In addition to this, the Second Vatican Council encouraged reforms in liturgical spaces to promote active participation. This often meant redesigning churches to focus on the altar and congregation, resulting in circular layouts or stripped-down interiors that many see as bland or uninspiring. Today, we are going to take a look at the 10 ugliest Catholic churches in America. We do this in the hopes that we can return to the tradition of inspiring awe in our churches. If you think we missed any, leave it in the comments. Number 10. Christ Cathedral in Garden Grove, California. Initially, this church was built as part of the Reformed Church of America. The ministry's weekly television program, Hour of Power, was formerly produced from the building. They went bankrupt in 2010 and sold the structure to the Diocese of Orange to be used as a new cathedral. During the purchase process, the Italian newspaper La Stampa wrote that we need to put a stop to garage-style churches, boldly shaped structures that risk denaturing modern places for Catholic worship. Number 9. The Cathedral of Christ, the Light, in Oakland, California. This was the first cathedral built entirely in the 21st century and replaced the Cathedral of St. Francis de Sales, irreparably damaged in the Loma Prieta earthquake of 1989. The worship space in the cathedral is a vesica piscis shape, formed by the intersection of two circles. The walls are composed of overlapping panels of wood and glass rising skyward to form the vault, much like the scales of a fish. In response to criticisms about the design, Reverend Leo Edgerly Jr., who served on the Cathedral Advisory Board, replied to the critics, "You can go to Europe and see Gothic cathedrals," he said. "You can come to Oakland and see this." Number 8. The Cathedral of St. Mary of the Assumption in San Francisco, California. The present cathedral was commissioned just as Vatican II was convening in Rome. It replaced the previous cathedral, now known as Old St. Mary's, which had a much more classic design. The design process of the new cathedral was controversial. The modern design was not loved by San Francisco's Catholics who had previously worshipped in traditional churches. The church is commonly known as Our Lady of Maytag because the roof, designed to look like a conquistador's helmet, resembles a washing machine agitator. Number 7. St. John's Abbey in Collegeville, Minnesota. This is one of the largest Benedictine abbeys in the country, with over 100 professed monks. When the community realized they needed a bigger church in the 1950s, they contacted 12 architects and asked them to submit plans for a church, which would be truly an architectural monument to the service of God. The brutalist architecture has been polarizing. Many find the large, concrete facade and geometric forms stark, cold, and uninviting compared to the traditional warmth of classical Catholic architecture. While some see them as symbols of innovation, others view them as abstract and difficult to connect with spiritually. Number 6. St. Maria Goretti Catholic Church in Scottsdale, Arizona. The church was designed by the architectural firm Rossmann and Cartmel, who have designed a wide variety of modern buildings in the Southwest. While the overall structure of the church is very unusual, there are some points of beauty on the inside. There are mosaic stations of the cross and an etched glass Salvador Dali image of the crucifixion suspended in midair. Number 5. The Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Burlington, Vermont. Construction on the original cathedral in the diocese began in 1862. It was a beautiful church that was unfortunately destroyed by an arsonist in 1972. A new architect was commissioned to replace the cathedral. The modern five-sided sanctuary is composed of low brick walls in bands of green and dark brown, covered by a high-standing seam copper roof, clerestory, and facade. Due to low attendance and other financial issues, the diocese announced that the cathedral would be closed and sold in 2018. One review of the church from a Vermont resident said, "I drew a great many conclusions about the health of the church out there on the East Coast, based solely on the existence of this cathedral." Number 4. St. Francis de Sales Church in Norton Shore, Michigan. The church commissioned modernist architect Marcel Breuer to design the structure in 1961. Construction on the building began 3 years later in 1964. Given the structure's unconventional forms, contractors known for expertise in poured concrete were specifically selected for the project. Breuer also designed St. John's Abbey in Minnesota, which appeared earlier on this list. Many reviews online indicate that being inside this church feels like being inside of a science fiction movie. Number 3. St. Malachy's Catholic Church in Burlington, Massachusetts. In the mid-20th century, most Catholics in this area would have attended St. Margaret's Catholic Church. Due to a huge boom in population, St. Malachy's was built to accommodate the thousands of weekly parishioners. As construction progressed, its modern design prompted people to express a spectrum of opinions, some critical and others seeing symbols of infinity in its mathematical curves. Many of the parishioners who have posted reviews online seem very happy with life at the church. However, it is often mistaken for an airplane hangar by passerby. Number 2. St. Patrick's Church in Armonk, New York. The cornerstone of the church was laid in 1969. The building was designed with the liturgical guidelines of the Second Vatican Council in mind. The church's structure, designed by Van Sommern and Weigold, emphasizes simplicity and functionality, which some might perceive as austere or plain compared to ornate Gothic or Baroque churches. Critics of such designs sometimes argue that modernist or minimalist church architecture can lack the grandeur and spiritual inspiration seen in older styles. Some reviews online have joked that the church looks like it was built on the site of an old nuclear reactor. Number 1. The Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels in Los Angeles, California. The structure replaced the Cathedral of St. Vibiana, which was severely damaged in the 1994 Northridge earthquake. There was considerable controversy over both its deconstructivist and modern design, costs incurred in its construction and furnishing. Using elements of postmodern architecture, the church and the cathedral center feature a series of acute and obtuse angles while avoiding right angles. Thrillist.com ranked the cathedral as one of the 9 ugliest in the world, comparing the church to a high school auditorium and a cardboard box. What's a shame is that the cathedral was one of the most expensive churches in the world to build. The price tag likely exceeded $200 million. With a budget like that, the cathedral in Los Angeles could have rivaled many of the beautiful Catholic churches around the world.